Hello everyone and welcome to this webinar. My name is Rebecca and today I'm joined by my colleagues Adam and Ricardo, who are both data scientists here at Incremental Group. You will have likely heard the term data science and buzzwords such as AI and machine learning, but what do these terms mean for those in professional services? This webinar will hopefully give you an insight by firstly explaining what these terms mean, but also touching on what impact we're seeing it make to those in industries such as accountancy, law and insurance. So at this point, I'll hand you over to my colleague Adam.
Hello, my name is Adam Srocker. I'm a data scientist here at Incremental Group. Today we're going to hopefully give you a bit of a look into how it can affect your industry and change things for the better for you. We're going to very briefly introduce what we mean by data science and try and give you an idea of where it came from and kind of all the steps that go into a really successful data science project. We'll then hand over to Ricardo and look at how data science is affecting the professional services and what we can look forward to in the future, what to look out for, what to watch for, and then the pair of us will answer a few questions. So what is data science? Good question. It's still quite a poorly defined field. It's been surrounded by hype and buzzwords. There's loads of like really cool applications that you'll see in the media, and it's taking everyone's jobs and all this malarkey. And hopefully this section will give you a bit of a better understanding of where it came from and what it is being used to do successfully. So in the mid-90s, the use of databases really began to boom. Computer usage was on the rise, both at home and in the workplace. And then just as a natural side effect of working with computers, people were creating more and more data all the time. Data mining was the name given to the approach of trying to find new patterns in these large volumes of data, these large databases. In 2001, there was a paper released by William S. Cleveland where he claimed to try and aim to enlarge the technical areas of statistics through use of computer science. The aim was to expand the possibilities of data mining by applying statistical methods at these new larger scales that had never really been possible before, that we could now do with the increased capability of computation. It was hoped that this would produce like a really powerful force for innovation, and the term data science came about from a combination of computer science and data mining. Then, early 2000s, thanks to the internet and websites like MySpace and YouTube, Reddit, there was another big boom in data. Business data was now being created not only by the businesses themselves, but by their customers and at unforeseen scales. This became known as big data with large distributed data in lots of formats. It was difficult to work with, it had been unproofed. So the tools required to make use of this data became more complex and more difficult. And one of the major pitfalls in trying to extract value from this data was that all the kind of advanced analytics couldn't really make up for poor quality data in the first place. Insightful analysis requires large quantities of really good quality data. I'm sure any accountants watching would have heard the term garbage in, garbage out, and that's really applicable in data science as well. So this is a really good diagram of all the levels and steps that go into a successful data science project. Everyone starts with collecting data right at the bottom. This is all your systems that are generating data all the time, and then you either move that somewhere or you store it so that it can be used and queried later. Once you've got the data moved and stored, you can then start to really explore it and understand it and turn it into forms that are more useful to you in the explore transform stage. And then you can go about generating insight from it. This is where BI and analytics comes in the aggregate label stage, where you really start to make a sense of what your data tells you about your business. And then right at the top of the pyramid is where you can start to make predictions and optimizations based on the data you have. And like I said, most media focuses up here because this is where all the really cool futuristic sci-fi applications are, but really trying to jump in at the top without sorting out all the lower layers can lead to a lot of unforeseen costs And actually, there's loads of value to be extracted from building these strong foundations underneath. So it's not a magic bullet. It kind of it has things it's good at and things it isn't good at. And here's sort of a list of where data science tends to do very well in quite a sort of abstract way. It's very good at processing unstructured data, things like text or image data, videos, scans of documents or files that you may have, photographs, things like that. It's also one of its sort of major benefits is looking at very, very large volumes of data. So maybe for law, you've got tens of thousands of case files you want to search quickly, or in accountancy, you're looking at huge sort of reams of transaction logs that you want categorizing automatically or something like that. Data science and these techniques do a really good job of removing the need for sampling that we'll touch on again later. And the benefit of all this is it can do it in real time at huge scales.
Okay, so at this point I'll hand over to Ricardo, who is going to run through some examples of the impact we've seen data science make to a few industries in particular.
So data science is gradually finding its way in every aspect of business, and more innovative applications are developed, and the awareness of the insights gained from data expands. We're transitioning from a phase where early adopters benefit from the increased competitiveness from using these new technologies. We're transitioning to one where data science will be prevalent, and businesses who don't use these analytics will be severely disadvantaged. This is true across all industries, but also in professional services. I'm going to walk through three examples of three industries where this is true. For decades, much of data analysis done in academia and in industry relied on methods that looked at samples of data and assumed that the distribution and relationships in this data can be described by mathematical equations. One example of this is the insurance industry. Actuarial science has traditionally relied on sampling of data and on the application of standard linear models to conduct their risk assessment and management. This approach works reasonably well for simple problems and small data sets. It constituted the best solution during times where data accessibility were limited. These methods were also relatively easy to solve, which was an important consideration before the advent of cheap and pervasive computing. However, currently, technology enables access to vast amounts of data and more powerful analytic techniques than existed decades ago. One can now analyze entire data sets of millions of records at a time. This now precludes the need of sampling and enables learning the actual patterns in the data with a reduction of the issues associated with sampling bias. Modern approaches now focus on application of machine learning instead of the traditional statistical models. This enables discovery of more complex patterns in data than what is possible by a simpler approach that underlie the traditional statistical methods. These machine learning algorithms do not assume a particular mathematical model. Instead, they use a variety of methods to search for the best way to solve the prediction problem. This enables them to detect complex patterns in the data and deliver more accurate predictions. Because of this advantage, machine learning methods such as decision trees, neural networks are gradually taking over applications in insurance. Law practice commonly involves a search for relevant legal documents, and this is often a very time-consuming task. And machine learning technology has been increasingly applied to this task with great success. Using techniques such as cognitive search, legal materials such as old notes and case files can be searched automatically to identify relevant records. And machine learning techniques can also assist in transitioning old paper records into a digital format to be used in these automated searches. Although most legal firms would benefit from using data science for this kind of work, not everyone has the capacity to recruit data scientists in full time, which is where working with consultancies could be of great benefit. A large component of accountancy practice involves the application of a set of rigid rules. And these tasks are perfect for automation with great benefits to be added to this practice. For example, you can have your month-end and year-end accounts ticking away in the background rather than having to spend man-hours to piece these data together every month. And systems like Dynamics 365 for Finance can include functions that help to reduce this workload. You can have systems that provide live margin alerts, getting the key information in front of the right people sooner. Automation can include operations such as automatic reading and recognition of invoices, identification of unusual and potential fraudulent transactions. It can be of great help in tax code assignment, especially for companies that work across multiple tax rules, greatly removing the chance of a manual error. Tasks such as auditing that traditionally have relied on samples of transactions can now be automated and provide a better coverage of the business activity. These methods can now look at thousands of manual operations and learn from these how to automate the procedures. Data science is also increasingly used to make predictions in accountancy. Models that predict the value of customer portfolios, the likelihood of a timely payment, volume of sales, and cash flow can be developed and introduced. These outputs can be generated and displayed in almost real time, which enables quick insight and data-driven decisions. Machine learning is and has the potential to further free up accountants' time from churning out data and instead spending time on the value-added stage of interpretation and decision-making. This freeing up of time from these automated tasks can lower fees of advisors and reduce job completion time, providing a competitive advantage. So data science is already creating an impact in many industries, including professional services. But where is it going from now? We're already seeing some new impacts. What are the new things that will further increase this impact? Things like the use of chatbots, the Internet of Things, the use of blockchain. We think they're the things that are going to be driving change in the future. Chatbots and virtual assistants will continue to improve and see more adoption both internally within a company but also client-facing. You can have a virtual assistant for a financial director, which can answer questions such as how much are we owed by X customer, instead of a member of staff logging into a system and spending valuable time finding out the answer. The virtual assistant will pull the answer from the system. This isn't a futuristic approach. This is something that can be built today. We're starting to see a lot more applications of the Internet of Things. We'll see more connected devices and sensors. Health and car insurance industries are already making good use of this extra data to create better fitting, more personalized products for their clients. And blockchain, which continues to be a hot topic, and it's still, people are still figuring out the applications of blockchain. But there's this general feeling or idea that it will become mainstream and it will allow organizations to collect data faster and allow secure and faster transactions to be implemented in businesses.
Okay, so I think we just got some time to take a couple of questions. So if you'd like to submit them, you can do. We've had one come through during the presentation. We've had someone ask, how long does a typical data project take? What could I do in, say, a week or a month?
So yeah, great question. It's quite hard to answer, but the majority of sort of time on any of these kinds of projects is focused around understanding, first of all, the kind of format and structure of the data, and then spending a lot of time kind of cleaning it up, trying to get it into a really healthy state so that you can move your way up that pyramid, up that hierarchy, and deliver the kind of AI data science part of it. So if the data is in a really good state and it is sort of well understood and well organized, then you can do quite a lot very quickly with off-the-shelf products as well. Like a lot of the cloud services are now delivering really powerful AI solutions that require very little input, like code. I mean, you can do a lot with sort of drag and drop interfaces. But if the data isn't in a great format, then it can sort of drag out and take a long time. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, we have another question, a bit more big picture. What do you expect to see make the biggest impact in the next 10 years? I don't know if you want to try and answer in terms of one of the industries we've spoken about.
So for me, I think I'm really excited about driverless cars, and I think they're going to completely change the way the whole world's going to kind of work and operate. But more specifically to professional services, I think the idea of cognitive search and these kind of industry specific, something like Alexa that operates, or Cortana that operates specific to your industry, where you can ask it quite technical questions, and it's sort of preloaded, or it knows how to and where to find the right answers for you. Things that are going to automatically recommend useful resources to the job at hand without you having to sort of dig and try and find them. I think that's going to make a huge difference in optimizing the workload of those kind of menial tasks that kind of need to be done but don't deliver. They're required to deliver value, but they don't deliver much value in and of themselves.
Great. Okay, so I think we have time for one more. So let's go with, where should I start? So I think we probably touched on that with there's a lot of low-hanging fruit there. But...
Yeah, I think a good idea where to start is kind of refer back to the pyramid, that triangle that Adam was mentioning earlier. Is to make sure you have a good base in that pyramid, but so have a good understanding of where the data is in your organization, which state is it in, and make sure that it's the best possible way, best format, so you can move up the pyramid, if you can say that.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for both of your time. If anyone has any further questions, please feel free to get in touch with us via our website. Anyone who's submitted a question that we've not got to, we will answer you via email. And yeah, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.